It looks like another week of disappointment, Cuse fans. But first, I want to begin this show by dedicating this show to a guy who was a longtime fan of mine and a longtime friend. David Bird was a very interesting soul. He grew up around here. He was a truck driver. He was a heck raiser. He was a ball breaker. And he was a whole lot of things. But most of all, he was a dear friend to me and my family, especially my sister and my niece. He lost his battle against lung cancer last week. And this show is in his memory. And also, let us remember Space Ace, Ace Frehley. And now let's talk about the Orange. It's now become apparent that this season is now a dress rehearsal for next year, especially with the way this offense has really regressed since Ricky Collins became the starting quarterback. And I mean, Fran Brown, his motto of dart. Yeah, it's almost like we want to throw a dart in this season. You know, when Angeli went down, seems as though this season went to heck in a handbasket. You know what? And we all know what happens with darts, especially ones you find at a county or a state fair. Hey, we give them a styrofoam target. Okay. Yeah, like the first place that kid's gonna aim that dart is that styrofoam target. I don't think so, Grandma's fat ass. Push! You know, that's the way it seems as though it's gonna be with the season. I don't think so. The Syracuse 2025 season, push! That's what's happened since Ricky Collins has taken over. And what's the idea of putting Luke Carney in? You know what? Heck, they didn't give him much to operate. And I mean, he just threw piddly passes those couple of times. And on 3rd and 9, why'd you take him out and have Ricky Collins get sacked? You know what? Sometimes I kind of wonder about Brown's decisions, especially near the end of the first half. You know what? You could have angled that punt so he couldn't have gotten a return off. Instead, that punt return for a touchdown was a backbreaker. You know what? There's been a lot of things that have been backbreakers. Yeah, this was a winnable game. If Angeli was okay and he was in there, you know what? I think we beat the Panthers. But instead, it's pretty apparent that SU's probably not going to go to a bowl game, and we lose 30-13 to Pittsburgh. You got to wonder about the teams, the formidable opponents that are coming up, including this Saturday against an undefeated Georgia Tech team down in Atlanta. How bad are the Orange going to be? And especially when we get Miami and Notre Dame in November at their places. Might as well pray to the gods now. And I mean, how are we going to do when Bill Belichick and North Carolina come to the Dome? And how are we going to be against Boston College? I kind of think we can still win those two games. But it looks as though this year is a dress rehearsal for next year. We got a young squad, but the thing is, hey, sometimes young squads take time to mesh. And what about that god-awful transfer portal? You gotta wonder. Well, I mean, heck, are you a dart? Yeah. But the thing is, with Brown, I appreciate your honesty. That's why I do think that hope you're around a while, unlike Billy Napier, Trent Dilfer, and a few others who've gotten canned, especially Franklin there from Penn State. Let's hope you're around a while, Brown. With Joe Brady of the Bills, as I transition to the Bills, I mean, he's emerged as potentially a favorite for the Penn State job. Well, you know what? The shine's kind of worn off from Brady as the offensive coordinator for the Bills. And you know what? He's the right Brady. We don't want smiling Tom, you know. Hey, look at me. Boy, do I want to punch that look off of Tom Brady. But whatever. Are we going to have a dart with the Bills this week? Yeah, I mean, Buffalo may have caught a little break with Carolina coming up because Bryce Young looks to be out this week, and the Red Rocket, Andy Dalton, is going to be at quarterback. But the truth is, whenever we played the Red Rocket has always kind of gotten the better of the Bills when he played for Cincinnati. And that, I mean, heck, with Dalton, I'm a little worried. But I mean, we got to get back on the right track. And maybe Babbage can call a good defensive game. You haven't done that all year, you nincompoop. And I mean, heck, Buffalo isn't what we thought. And the shine's worn off on everybody eats. I'm kind of wondering if we're looking at any place we can trade for a big name wide receiver. Heck, people might think he's almost past his prime, but A.J. Brown wants out of Philadelphia. Maybe we see if we can make a trade. But I don't know. It's going to be an interesting when we come up on the trade deadline. We'll see. Is Buffalo going to be a dart? You know what? Maybe we throw it at somebody's fat butt. Push! Come on, Buffalo. You got to get back on the right track. And Allen, you got to play mistake-free ball. And I'm going from talking about them to the high schools. Yeah, again, Waterloo went down to defeat, but it wasn't as bad. And I mean, heck, and Minders, any dream of maybe having a winning season went out the window, but they still could finish at 500 because Friday night, it is the rivalry at Brock Field. It's Minders and Waterloo. Who's going to win? We'll see. I mean, heck, the Blue Devils could be at 500, but is there going to be an extra game for the Blue Devils? Because, I mean, they're an independent. So is Waterloo. I kind of think after Friday night's game, Waterloo is probably going to say that's it for the season. But you know what? If Minders finishes at 500, do they want to play another game? You know what? Finishing at 500 would be a celebration for the Blue Devils. They haven't done that since Jesus was an altar boy. Heck, I do remember that. Him coming up, him getting communion. But you know what? Maybe I better absolve myself of talking about this anymore, because I don't want to sin. But whatever. And of course, sectionals are coming up for soccer, for cross country, for tennis. You know what? The end of the fall season is coming up, and it's time to look ahead to basketball and potentially a return to form for the Waterloo girls. Mike Bree has got a loaded team coming back this year. And you know what? Let's look to maybe see another long run by the Waterloo girls. And you know what? With his daughter, Addison, there might not be any subtraction, multiplication, and division. And of course, his middle daughter potentially joining the team, who's just as talented. And also, I have to say, his middle daughter looks good with those Air Jordans on. She looks cool. But we'll see. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, but basketball's just around the corner. It's going to be an interesting winter season. And of course, basketball's just around the corner for the Orange. Kai and Anthony and the rest of the team are getting ready, especially when we go to Buffalo to play an exhibition game. And of course, it'll be an interesting to see if Adrian Autry has improved anything for the Orange. And last but not least, the pros are tipping off tonight. Is New Orleans going, Oklahoma City, I think it is, going to repeat as the champions? Let's see. It's going to be an interesting NBA season, especially with Steph Curry continuing and LeBron James. He'll be out for the first few weeks. Well, the greatest player of this generation is continuing, maybe he can get back to the NBA championship. Of course, the NHL dropped the puck, and Buffalo again had a slow start. They won 2 games, but again they lost. You gotta wonder, they gonna miss the playoffs again? I hope not. I want to see the Sabres in the playoffs. But that is the way I look at it this week. God rest David Bird.